Did you see the Becky ETF video from Graham Stephan put out a couple weeks back? It's not a big deal if you didn't. The video was centered around an ETF called Becky that holds a stack of companies with female-centric brands. At least that's the claim, right? I'm Skylar James. Welcome back to the channel. In case you're wondering where I'm filming from, that is a volcano and I'm climbing it today. Stick around to the end to see if I made it and how long it takes me. But as I'm hiking, a few things about Graham's video have stuck with me, and while I love how he has introduced personal finance to literally millions of viewers, occasionally we YouTubers get stuff wrong, and I'm here to correct him. No disrespect, but his video had some wrong and incorrect statements layered with fuzzy misinformation. But what Graham got wrong is a chance for me and you to get right here today. And hey, use this logic to impress your friends. Show them how you outsmarted the venerable millennial money millionaire Graham Stephan. I have three really important points to clarify from the Becky video. First, the Becky ETF doesn't exist. Second, let's find out if these are really female-centric brands, or is that just fluff? And third, everybody wants to beat the market, and we keep looking for secrets about how to do it. This FOMO leads to bad judgment, and Becky could be that bad judgment come to life. So does the Becky ETF exist? Nope. It doesn't. Despite Graham explicitly saying it does not. Period. There is no such thing as the Becky ETF. What there is, however, is a Becky Index. Because you've been here before sharpening your ETF skills, you know that most ETFs track an index. An index is just a group of stocks. Becky is a group of 10 stocks assembled by probably some Redditor. Honestly, I could make a Skylar index of half Tesla stock and half Palantir stock and call that an index. I can't call that an ETF. That is important because as an index, me as an investor, I have to do the maintenance, rebalancing and tracking of these stocks rather than an exchange traded fund doing that for me. Next, let's look at if these are really female-centric brands. Look at these holdings. Isn't Adobe the leading creative software platform in the world? Isn't Apple a $2 trillion hardware and services company? Facebook has 1 billion users, but we're supposed to believe that it's female-centric? Look, I'm a huge fan of thematic investing. There are macro trends, social trends, geographic trends. All of these underlying currents we can tap into for outsized returns. But does this female-centric theme hold water for the Becky ETF? It's possible, but this index doesn't answer that question because these aren't exclusively female-centric companies. Lululemon, Pinterest, Etsy, yeah, those are female-centric brands. The rest? Fluff. This index is majority powerhouse companies with strong stock performance, and ultimately those strong stock performances lift the Becky Index and make it look like a winner. Backtesting the index does show it's a huge winner, but it's not based on its central tenet that it's female-centric. They're just great growth stocks. But there are real thought-provoking aspects to analyzing this index. What are the lessons for us as investors? Most paramount, we have to do our own research. We can't just follow the crowd. We can't listen to every YouTuber when they prognosticate a specific stock or fund. We need to peel back those layers and confirm or refute. So there's no legal or moral requirement for stocks in a theme to actually fit that theme. Is Shopify a female-centric company, as in like only women shop online? Come on, let's use our brains here. You know what else I see in this list of 10 companies? COVID winners, Peloton, Etsy. Like, how much different does this list of 10 look compared to a list of COVID work from home plays? Investors need to put on their thinking caps when someone tries to sell us these ideas. Becky is more of a teacher than an ETF, offering us important lessons of thematic analyses. And remember, ETF issuers, Becky is not an ETF, of course, but ETF issuers are making money from every share sold. That's why I invested in BlackRock for the passive revenue they generate through ETF management. Take ARK, for example, wildly successful ETFs in 2020. Some quick math looks like ARK manages $35 billion in assets across their active ETFs. At around 75 basis points each, ARK is making $255 million a year on fees, each year, again and again. So ARK and other ETF issuers are incentivized to sell us on these themes, on the way stocks are grouped together. A big difference is this BECKY Index is just a list on the interwebs. It's not an ETF. And remember, when analyzing and backtesting, the survivor bias in a bull market makes a lot of people look like geniuses. So the BECKY ETF is not an ETF. It is not female-centric, but it is a good teacher for how to evaluate thematic plays in the market. Those are your 3 takeaways. Make sure to tell your friends and spread the knowledge. If you do want to see some deep dives into real thematic ETFs, check out my ETF playlist right here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.